Okay, so welcome everybody to the 10th Consultative Forum on Scaling Up Agricultural Index Insurance in Africa, Building Resilience for Smallholder Farmers. My name is Janice Ango from the Access to Insurance Initiative, and I will guide you through this consultative forum. This event is designed to be a platform for exchange between the industry and insurance supervisors, and so it's intended to be a very interactive session. So audience participation is welcomed and encouraged. This seminar is jointly organized by the International Association of Insurance Supervisors, the Microinsurance Network, and the African Insurance Organization, and the Access to Insurance Initiative. So I'd like to introduce you to our organizing team on the ground. So we have Aneta Hotkama from the Microinsurance Network, who helped with registration, and my colleague Hannah Grant at the back, who will be available to ask questions if you have any questions throughout the forum. So the forum will focus on the challenges and opportunities for agricultural index-based insurance and explore how various stakeholders can work together. So that includes the industry, insurance supervisors, policymakers, and donors to achieve sustainability and scale, as well as looking at client value for index-based insurance products. So after a couple of introductory sessions, we will look at at scaling up and providing value. So this will first be covered in a panel discussion, and then after a short break, we will look at the same topic and open it up to the audience for interaction and comments in a fishbowl type format. And then tomorrow's event will focus more on managing risk, achieving sustainability, and ensuring client value for index-based insurance products, both from the perspective of the insurers and of the insurance supervisors. But now I would like to invite the incoming president of the AIO and the CEO of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, Mr. Alhaj Kadanabi Ibrahim Lubega, to open the ceremony, the session officially. So welcome, Mr. Lubega.
Thank you very much. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. First of all, I would like to thank Access to Insurance Initiative for what it has done when a decision was made to partner with African Insurance Organization. I also would like to thank the participants from different countries for sparing time to come and participate in this very important engagement. On the part of the Ugandan market, we find agriculture insurance targeting the smallholders or small farmers very important. Therefore, the support by A2II and AIO is very timely, and it is intended to address the needs of many of the African countries. A large percentage of our population, as you are all aware, depend on agriculture. And in many countries, at least those I'm more familiar with, it is subsistence farming. With the changes in the climatic patterns, there are varied reasons why we must have this training because it will provide us with food security and poverty reduction. Indeed, the government of Uganda and the Ugandan insurance fraternity have already addressed what is needed. And in Uganda, we have started a consortium of 10 insurance companies which do insure agriculture on index basis. The government of Uganda has also been timely and kind enough to do its duty by providing a subsidy to this premium subsidy as is required. As we are all aware, agriculture is fundamental, and it makes us as the insurance players most suited to assure the entire nation that we can be there for a long haul. We would therefore support the initiatives of Access to Insurance Initiative and other development partners which are intended to address the needs of the ordinary people. As you might all be remembering, in this morning session, there was a resolution to pursue the financial inclusion agenda through development of insurance value chains. And in the case of agriculture insurance, the actors of this are the farmers, agro-dealers, financial institutions, agents, insurers. The list is endless. Members, therefore, we need to respond to the demands of the farmers, and it is the only way we can demonstrate our tangible contribution, and the benefits will be enormous. With these words, I would like to take this opportunity to declare this consultative forum officially opened. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Mr. Lebega, for your warm welcome and your kind words for opening the forum. So before we start the discussions, I would like to invite Jonathan Dixon to say a few words. So Jonathan is the Deputy Executive Officer of Insurance at the Financial Services Board. He's also the IAIS Regional Coordinator for Sub-Saharan Africa and the Chairman of the governing body for the Access to Insurance Initiative. And Jonathan will shortly be moving to Switzerland to take up a new role as the Secretary General of the IAIS. So Jonathan, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. It's very wonderful to be here in this forum and to see so many of you here to discuss this important topic. I must say it has been particularly wonderful to spend time in Uganda these past 2 days, and thank you to our wonderful hosts, particularly, as Janice says, as I am on the cusp of moving to Switzerland. I think I couldn't have had a better farewell than the warmth and the color and the vibrancy of Uganda. I'm not sure whether it will be quite so colorful in Switzerland, but I thank you for the wonderful time here. As I say, thank you to Janice. I'm speaking today in my capacity as IIS Regional Coordinator, also Chair of the IIS Implementation Committee and Chair of the Governing Board of the Access to Insurance Initiative. So in those capacities, I'd like to officially thank the African Insurance Organization, Priska, and your team. Thank you for another wonderful job this year. To the Microinsurance Network, thank you for partnering with us on this event. And of course to the Access to Insurance Initiative, who are the IAIS's implementation partner particularly on the topic of inclusive insurance. So it's, as I say, it's wonderful to be here for this event today. Particularly because it's so important to the IIS. I think you all know the AIS as the standard-setting body, the international standard-setting body for insurance supervision. And as part of that, the mission of the IIS is really to promote effective and globally consistent insurance supervision, to develop and maintain fair, safe, and stable insurance markets for the protection of policyholders. Now, we do that through development of, as I say, these international standards, which we call Insurance Core Principles, or ICPs. And these are principles that are meant to be universal in terms of applying to all forms of insurance, to all markets. But as some of you will have heard in my presentation yesterday, we have to recognize that these ICPs are by necessity quite high level in order to be universal. But what that means is if we really want to achieve our objective of having effective supervision, and supervision that is appropriate and achieves these outcomes of fair, safe, and stable markets, we have to recognize that those principles need to be adapted depending on the nature, scale, and complexity of the insurance that's been conducted, but also recognizing the local market context and conditions. In other words, we have to make sure that the application of these principles, these standards, is done in a proportionate way that achieves our objectives of fair, safe, and stable markets, but in a way that doesn't go beyond that and doesn't create barriers to the development of insurance markets. And given the fact that the IIS has over 200 members, of which more than half are from emerging and developing market jurisdictions, I think you can understand why increasingly the IIS is seeing this idea, this concept of giving guidance on proportionate application of these standards as being a critical priority that will serve the needs of our broad membership. And I hope to be part of that process. So how can the IIS help with that? Well, first of all, we do that through our partners, the Access to Insurance Initiative in particular. And the A2II works with us, for us, in terms of, first of all, developing guidance material, such as the application paper on inclusive index-based insurance that you'll hear more about tomorrow morning. But more than that, it also recognizes that it's not enough to merely provide guidance in papers, but we also have to be on the ground providing practical assistance to supervisors in terms of how they understand, how they take that guidance and apply it in their own markets, in their own jurisdictions. And that's why increasingly the IIS, working with the A2II, has been doing more and more work at a regional level, working with supervisors in regions to try and develop regional implementation plans, which identify where the gaps are in supervision and put in targeted efforts to fill those gaps, to address those gaps. And these are plans that are driven from the bottom up. They are developed by supervisors in the region. And the mechanisms to address those gaps are things like training events that are held with partners like the Toronto Centre and others, the FSI. But importantly, things like consultation calls that are conducted where supervisors can join monthly calls on topical issues and exchange views, to importantly consultative forums like this one, which are events specifically designed to bring together supervisors but also industry participants to exchange views and try to develop solutions. And increasingly moving towards actually having pilots on the ground, such as through the Inclusive Insurance Lab, which hopefully Hannah will have an opportunity to talk about in the next 2 days. And as we talk about topical themes, clearly the topic of tackling the vulnerability of smallholder farmers is a key one for this region. And so we have to recognize that the role insurance can play in protecting against production risk, but also dealing with disaster resilience, and the huge opportunities it can play, whilst also recognizing the considerable challenges in terms of coming up with solutions that are both affordable and are capable of being easily operationalized. The challenges are big, but I think there's promising developments on three fronts. So first of all, innovation is obviously key, innovation in business models, and of course technology. And index-based insurance is one of those innovations that we're hear about over the next 2 days. Secondly, regulations and the progress that has been made in developing knowledge and sharing that knowledge about how to have proportionate regulation that supports agricultural insurance, in particular index-based agricultural insurance. And lastly, the increasing recognition amongst policymakers around the importance of this topic, and recognition that insurance needs to be part of broader themes like disaster resilience, food security, climate risk, and financial inclusion. So, in conclusion, I think there are challenges, but the opportunities are great. I look forward to hearing all the ideas over the next few days about how to address those challenges, how to make the most of the opportunities. And lastly, to say that the IIS, together with the Access to Insurance, I can guarantee you, will be a steadfast partner with the AIO, with the Microinsurance Network, to work in this region to make concrete progress over the next few years. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jonathan.